cat?
Woof?
Dealing with Dealers, NBC 33, 11 at 10, Tuesday.
Back in Dallas, the San Antonio Spurs down by as many as 17, within 2 at halftime. The high man, Dirk Nowitzki, leading the Mavericks with 16. David Robinson, the high man for San Antonio, with 16. We'll be back for the second half in just a moment.
Man, it's big in there. The roomy Accord from Honda.
Play the Millionaire game at McDonald's. There's cash on every card. $1 to $1 million. Can you find it?
We love to see you smile.
The Schick Extreme 3. Triple blade performance. Pivoting head, and after a bunch of great shaves, you just toss it and serve up another. Schick Extreme 3.
Schick. Shave something.
Yeah, anytime. She's checking you out.
I've never seen anything that red.
Ditto.
Bolder, richer, creamier. Killian's Irish Red. One look says a lot.
The romance, the beauty, the world of Ralph Lauren. A new way to shop, just a click away. Polo.com.
Sure, we could brag about it, how it's the fastest sport there is, exploding in popularity. Truth is, it's the fastest growing sport in America. But more important than what it is where it's going. NASCAR is moving to NBC and TNT. NASCAR coming in July on NBC and TNT.
On NBC is brought to you by the game that's taken America by storm. Weakest Link, Monday at 8, 7 Central on NBC. Welcome back to Reunion Arena, Dallas, Texas. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, and Lewis Johnson as we get set for the start of play in the third quarter. Let's check in with Lewis.
Okay, Marv, thanks a lot. I just talked with Greg Popovich as he came out of the locker room and asked him how they got down by 17 in the first half. And he said, hey, did you see us playing defense? No, you didn't. He said that was the problem. He talked to David Robinson and Tim Duncan, about getting back on defense. He wants those bigs to hustle. He said that there were not enough transition defense. 9 offensive rebounds by the Mavericks turned into 15 points. I asked him, how do you avoid this thing going to a game 5 on Monday? He said it's simple. We've got to hustle and get that transition defense back in order like we did toward the end of the first half. Marv?
All right, let us look at the high point men. 16 for Robinson, along with 9 rebounds. Nowitzki with 16. Nash has 8 assists. The Spurs with a 33-18 run the last 9.5 minutes to erase 15 of that 17-point deficit. Sean Bradley has 8 points, and the Mavericks now lead 61-57.
Well, great start there. Good execution coming out of the halftime. Sean Bradley, a wide-open shot, miscommunication by the Spurs.
Duncan stopped. Robinson on the recovery. It counts, and the foul.
Now, David Robinson has really energized his team here. After getting off to a slow start, 16 big points in the first half, he now has 18 opportunity for a three-point play. And that loose ball, all these little hustle plays, this is how you win series. This is how you close people out. You get these kind of early baskets. Three-point play by Robinson. This is the quarter that has really killed the Mavericks in this series, Marv. They have got to be able to find a way to play a good third period. Otherwise, we will not see a Game 5.
1-point game. Nowitzki. A very strong performance for Dirk Nowitzki. 7 of 10. He has 18 points.
So smooth. He's got to dominate that matchup with Danny Ferry.
Robinson, Duncan, and Ferry up front. Daniels and Porter in the backcourt. David Robinson showing the touch. He now has 21. The Mavs with a 1-point advantage. Nowitzki, yes, and the foul. Danny Ferry called for the hack. Dirk Nowitzki is headed to the line.
Now this man is 6'10", and watch how smooth and graceful the sweet little jump shot, the soft touch, using the screens, the ability to put that ball on the floor, the fading shot, more importantly, the concentration. He felt the foul, and he got greedy. He said, I want a three-point play, and that's just what he got.
It's been a big bounce-back game for Dirk Nowitzki, who had not played well in the 3 previous in the series, bothered by the food poisoning back in Game 3. Bradley on the rejection. Nowitzki and Daniels on the loose ball. Terrific performance by the San Antonio backcourt of Daniels and Porter in the first half. Robinson. And the crowd responds to the hustle of Nowitzki. Howard with the room. Now that was not a good-looking shot.
You see, when a guy plays off of him and his shot is not contested, he gets very flat with it. When a shot is contested, you have to shoot it up over the defender's arm. And Nowitzki here with a loose ball foul. This is a crucial play. It's a hustle play, but a big foul as Mark Cuban looks on. He is not happy.
That's 4 on Nowitzki.
And Nowitzki was very unhappy on that possession. He was being guarded in the post by Porter. They went away from him. Howard took a tough shot, and he got the foul. This is how the game turns.
And Nowitzki was hit with a technical after arguing the call. Terry Porter, 3 for 3 from downtown, now has 12 points, 5 assists.
I'm sure that the Mavericks fans are saying, hey, let's into a little contact. There was no possession gained or lost with that play. More importantly, their star now has 4 when you're down 3-0. No reason to sit down. You might as well keep playing.
4 fouls apiece on Nowitzki and Bradley. Duncan looking to pick up number 5 on Bradley, who did hold back, but Tim Duncan able to go glass. It's back to a 1-point Maverick lead. Dallas has led by as many as 17. Porter trying to draw the foul. Here's Bradley. Yes.
That's his shot on the baseline, that little tippy-toe jumper from about 16, 17 feet, all created by Nash, getting in that lane.
Bradley has 10 points. Dallas 68, San Antonio 65, and now foul is called by the outside official, Ronnie Nunn.
Dallas, number 5.
Now this is unfair for a man this big and this talented to be able to step out on the floor. Sean Bradley, great defense, the hand in the face, off the glass. And Bradley says, you know what, I'll square up and I'll go out here with a little path of least resistance and shoot that jump shot. I don't want all that contact in there.
The last Dallas foul call on Juwan Howard. Calvin Booth has checked in for Sean Bradley. Duncan on the follow. Tim Duncan with a second effort. He now has 15 points. Mavericks lead 68-67.
You know, Shaq demoralizes you and you feel it. You know, right when Duncan does it in such a way sort of quietly. When Shaq does it, you feel the power. With Duncan, it's sort of quiet.
Tim a little bit more subtle with his moves. Nash rebounded by Robinson. Spurs with a chance to take the lead. Daniels for three. Here's Daniels popping it out. Porter has been on fire from downtown. Nowitzki putting moves on Duncan, who stays right with him. Oh, Daniels went down. Here's Finley for three. We played 4 minutes, 10 seconds of the third quarter. Daniels takes it to the rim, and the Spurs take the lead. They're up 69 to 68. First time they've led since the early moments when they were up 15-11.
With the great transition offense, when the Spurs can run, and Antonio Daniels really thrives.
Nash from downtown. That's his second three. He has 8 points. Dallas back up to a 2-point lead. And Juwan Howard able to break it up.
Tried to enter the ball that too far from the post there, Mark. You got to get closer. That ball is so far in the air that time. The defense is able to react to that. You've got to close down that passing lane. Then you can make that little lob pass.
To this point, the Mavericks have reacted well in the third quarter. The first and third quarters for Dallas in this series have been brutal. They have not responded well. Shot clock is down to 3. Here's Ferry for 3 at the 24-second buzzer.
That's what they'll do. They'll stretch you out, and when you help, they got great three-point shooting.
That's his first field goal. Back up the Spurs. They're up by 1. And the foul is called on Nash. Nash went flying along the baseline, but he's called for the block.
Well, David Robinson was running the floor so hard, Steve Nash had to get back defensively, stride for stride with David Robinson. You see him right here. He cuts in front of him. Well, that's hard to see right there, a little incidental contact. Steve Nash very unhappy with that foul. Thought that he was allowed the space just much as David Robinson on that play.
And very early, the Mavericks are hit with their 4th team foul. That's the first on Nash. Duncan rejected and fouled by Howard.
If you're going to switch that play and get Michael Finley on Duncan, you've got to get a quick double team, because if you don't, he puts it on the floor and he gets inside. Now they switch to look at Finley. Now when he gets inside, that's too late. That's going to be a foul. Duncan is too good in there. He's going to throw his body and he's going to get the foul. Their defensive concept right now, they've got to get to him sooner.
Tim Duncan now 4 for 7 at the foul line. They're calling this the I-35 series, the Battle of the Lone Star State. It's been all San Antonio. They lead it 3-0. Dallas trying to set it back to a 5th game at the Alamo Dome on Monday night. No team in the history of the NBA has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. Nowitzki had nowhere to go. Calvin Booth normally scores primarily on putbacks, and we're seeing a little baseline touch from Booth here today. Booth now 5 for 7, 10 points.
Well, when you play with a point guard that's going to get you those kind of shots, Marv, you got to get in the gym and make them, and that's what Booth has done. He's improving his game, and it's helping his team.
Tied at 73, Porter for 3, and a loose ball foul on San Antonio. Called on Duncan. Timeout for Dallas with 5:49 left in the third.
Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
Putting together a system like this is complicated.
For example, the problems we're having now could be the software.
Or the platform.
Or maybe the network.
You never know until you test them together.
Every e-business installation is like reinventing the wheel.
So let's stop reinventing the wheel.
Compact for e-business. The best partners, complete solutions, pre-configured, stress-tested, and ready to roll in less time than ever before.
flat rear floor so there's more room for your legs. Which may or may not be a good thing.
Joey, cut it out!
Introducing the all-new Civic from Honda. Amazing, but true.
Now, Sprite.com makes it easier to buy just about anything you want. Under every cap is a free Sprite or Rocket Cash. Online money you can use through Sprite.com. Drink Sprite, get Rocket Cash. Buy what you want. Something amazing every day.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Honda, a winning lineup of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans. By NikeBasketball.com. And by Sprite. Obey your thirst. You look back at the 3 previous games in this series, all blowouts for the Spurs. Dallas has been overmatched. They've been very bad in the third quarter, but not the case here this afternoon.
Marv, either by new math or in my case,
yes,
old math, that is plus 38, and that has been the difference.
No team, Doug, has been swept by double-digit deficits in a best-of-7 series since Houston against Boston back in 1980. And this is the first close game of the series. We're tied at 73. Daniels and Porter in the backcourt. Duncan, Robinson, Ferry up front. Rick Popovich going with his starting lineup. Nash cheating off to help. Nash off the steal from Howard. Nowitzki with no hesitation. Booth with the tip.
It's the Calvin Booth show this afternoon. Moments like this for a young player where you really grow. In this kind of environment, you take this, and next season, it even works wonders for you as you get this good feeling about how well you can play.
Offensive foul on Porter.
You cannot dislodge the defender, and that's exactly what Terry Porter does there. A nice little acting job by Steve Nash. And Terry Porter not happy. Look at Steve Nash. The look on his face. He's winded. He's tired. Give me a blow, coach, and let me back in there.
Howard Isley has come on for Steve Nash. Dallas with a 2-point lead. Finley, yes.
Now they like to put him on top of the floor so that he has more room to work. That's what we've seen in game 2 and 3. That worked that time.
77-73 Mavericks on a 6-0 spurt. Here's Porter. Oh, what a follow by Robinson. The quickness of David Robinson bringing the Spurs within 2. Howard, offensive foul. The basket will not count.
David Robinson so active today. Now Terry Porter creates it. Watch what happens when he gets inside. The shot blocking David Robinson seals off Nowitzki, who's playing him, and it actually looks like he is the defensive rebounder on that play, when in actuality he's the offensive guy. So nice job of sealing his man there.
And a nice stat line for David Robinson. Avery Johnson is back on for San Antonio, replacing Terry Porter. Duncan lost it. Back comes Isley. Booth. And a foul. A reach-in call on the Spurs. It's Don Johnson.
I really like what this Calvin Booth is doing today. He's being so aggressive, running from inline to inline, giving his team easy scores. And look what's happened today. You want to know why they're back in this game. Back in today's game is because he is got 12 points. There's the foul by Avery Johnson, who has been very quiet today. He played only 9 minutes in that first period, but Calvin Booth giving him a lot of energy today off that bench.
Juan Howard getting a breather. Greg Buckner makes his return. Calvin Booth, for those who may not be familiar with this young man, second season out of Penn State. He's known for the most part as a shot blocker. He's the Big Ten's all-time blocked shots leader and number 5 all-time in the history of the NCAA.
That's a pretty elite company. I know Theo Ratliff is in that company, as is Alonzo Mourning, 2 great shot blockers in this league. David Robinson getting a rest, and the Mavericks with an excellent third period.
Antonio Daniels with 16 points, so he's done a nice job once again filling in for the injured Derek Anderson. 79-77, Dallas with 3:20 left in the third. Nowitzki facing up on Elliott. Yes.
Great footwork. Instead of playing with his back to the basket, he turned. Elliott had to give him some room. He just rose up and shot the jump shot.
23 for Nowitzki, 9 of 14 from the field. Dallas by 4. Here's Malik Rose off a series of moves and very little angle off glass.
I'm not so sure he could even see the basket there. He was smothered by Nowitzki. That's just an energy play, and that's what Rose brings.
81-79, Dallas. Isley looking for Booth. The ball back to San Antonio. And a timeout called by the Spurs with 2:41 remaining in the third.
Because of his all-around play, basketball started keeping a new stat. They call it the triple-double. Of course, he wasn't the only player to ever score a triple-double, but Magic Johnson was the only one to do it 138 times.
Hey, nothing beats an original. Original Coors, brewed with Rocky Mountain water.
Look, a triple-double.
$1 billion. That's how much Oracle saved in 1 year using its own e-business software. How much will you save? Oracle. Software powers the internet.
Hi, this is my house. I love cheese, as you can see. I just get so excited when I'm around cheese. Cheddar England, ground zero for cheddar lovers.
If you love cheddar, nothing's more delicious than Wendy's Cheddar Lovers Bacon Cheeseburger.
For the man who put the 2 E's in cheese, Dave Thomas, the big cheese.
Come try one today.
You behave yourself, Angus.
Rear seats that fold down to create over 67 cubic feet of cargo space and an all too convenient retractable tray table.
Good dog.
The CR-V from Honda.
I'm going to see about a credit card.
Oh, but honey.
Rejected?
You have no future!
But I just got a great job!
Run, little man! Run!
What kind of bank is this?
Take that! Honey, I already got us a Capital One card.
33 million people have chosen Capital One to help build their financial future.
What's in your wallet? Monday, 8/7 Central. Weakest Link is heating up.
You don't know the difference between Chris Rock and Aretha Franklin, do you?
8 new players compete for a $1 million prize.
She got it wrong, she's off.
And it's winner take all.
Who is the least likely candidate for human cloning?
Weakest Link, Monday at 8/7 Central on NBC.
Bye-bye.
Back in Dallas, the Mavs clinging to a 2-point lead over the San Antonio Spurs. NBA Commissioner David Stern has been making the rounds in Sacramento last night. Here in Dallas today, I'm told that Mark Cuban was only too happy to sell him a ticket for $505,000 pending today's activity.
Well, there's Mark Cuban probably checking to see if the commissioner liked that seat, but the smile you see on that commissioner's face is Dallas is once again a terrific franchise, but these young players now growing up in the playoffs and what they're starting to do, the NBA, I think, on an upswing here. It's been easy to bash the league, but these young kids are really starting to play well.
I think the bill is up to 505, incidentally. And Mark has been up and encouraging his team and yelling at officials right from the opening tip. Calvin Booth again. The Mavericks lead 83-79, and Booth has 16 points.
It seems like every time Finley is in the game, he gets so much attention that Booth knows exactly where to go on the floor where Finley can find him.
Duncan blocked. Good play by Finley coming over. And a foul, a holding call on Duncan. And Tim Duncan, so rare to see any change in his demeanor, did not like that call, a little frustrated. And he's been charged with a technical foul.
Well, he felt like he got fouled by Calvin Booth on the play. It was not called. He walked over and let Eddie Rush know about it. The fire in Tim Duncan, you don't see it like you said. He's always a guy you would not want to play poker against because you would never know what kind of hand he's got. Now that man, Greg Popovich, you know he wears it on his sleeve. David Robinson looking on, and once again, the third period here that's been so bad for the Mavericks in this series. They're up by 5. Very positive signs, Marv.
Booth. And Rose able to sweep it. Coming up on a minute and a half remaining in the third. Avery Johnson.
A little floating left-hand hook that he is known for. Gets in the lane, that little runner.
The Mavs by 3. Oh, what a fake. And Finley able to put it away. They call that breaking the defender's ankles. As Antonio Daniels went down on that Michael Finley head fake. Holding foul on the Mavericks.
Michael Finley, such a tough cover. You see the contact, and Daniels goes down, and Michael Finley just takes his time and knocks in the shot. But he has so much more room to operate here on the top of the floor than when he gets down on that baseline. He took his time, knocked it in. Avery Johnson with the first free throw.
Foul was called on Isley. Dallas has been over the foul limit most of this third quarter. We have 1:07 remaining. Oh, Rose stole the rebound and then took a shot accidentally from Dirk Nowitzki. Nowitzki was upset with himself and swung his arm. And Malik, who landed on his wrist off that flagrant foul from Juwan Howard in Game 3, not happy about that move. Here's Rose, lost it, and recovers. Malik Rose, all pumped up, has tied the game at 86.
Oh, this is why Greg Popovich loves him. He's come in the game and given them 6 energy baskets, 6 energy points, excuse me.
Jump ball between Sean Elliott and Calvin Booth.
Things starting to get a little testy here. Avery Johnson missed a shot, and Dirk Nowitzki took a little nap on that rebound, and Malik Rose just beat him inside. There's a little incidental bump by Nowitzki. And then the drive and the dish and the delivery to Malik Rose, who picks up the loose ball and scores. So 6 points around the basket for Rose. And again, Mark, things starting to get testy. Spurs wanting to sweep. Mavericks said, we are not going to be swept. This fourth quarter should be very interesting.
Dirk Nowitzki getting a rest, sits down with 24 points. 31 seconds remaining in the third. The game tied at 86. At one stretch, Dallas led by as many as 17. That was back in the first half. Duncan played by Booth. Isley over to help. And a reach-in foul on Howard Isley.
That's why sometimes you have to take a technical if you're a great player. Remember the play before, contact, didn't get the foul. You get the foul and the technical. This time he turns and says, I'm going to put the onus on the official. I've been an MVP in this league. Calvin Booth cannot guard me. Put me on the line. And that's exactly what happened as we see Duncan's numbers very quiet here today, only 6 of 16.
A reminder, this Wednesday at 9, 8 Central. Don't miss the West Wing season finale that everyone will be talking about all summer long. This is just a tremendous show. The West Wing season finale, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on NBC. Then if you've seen it, you know that.
Sounds to me like that's one of your favorites. It sounds to me like that's one of your favorites.
That was sincere. Final seconds of the third. 1-point lead for the Spurs. Buckner. Finley. After 3 here in Dallas. It's the Spurs in a come-from-behind effort, leading the Mavericks 87-86. We'll be back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Just imagine. The all-new Civic from Honda is the only car in its class to achieve a 5-star safety rating in every category. Amazing, but true. The all-new Civic, part of the Special Value Collection, now at your Honda dealer.
Ever wonder who would win if Larry Bird played Tim Duncan? Or if Allen Iverson went one-on-one against Earl the Pearl? What if the Afros took on the Baldies?
He's got hair longer than his shoes.
And the Cornrows battled whomever. Imagine Jordan's Air versus Carter's Vinsanity.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Who would win? The NBA playoffs. It's all good.
Tonight, Laura Flynn Boyle, Bon Jovi, Saturday Night Live.
Hey, bro, what's up with the gas mileage on this truck?
Let's find out.
Wait a second, bro. Dude, you're Ricky Rudd. Man, you've won tons of races on fuel mileage.
So?
So you're like trying to teach me a lesson.
I believe I'm schooling you.
Ford Ranger with 0-9 financing or up to $2,000 cash from your Northern Indiana Ford store.
Well, can we make a pit stop?
I guess not.
Pink slips, strikes, and layoffs. A week of NBC 33 special reports. What to do if you're out of work. NBC 33 News at 6 starting Monday. The time, the skill, the beauty. With so much invested, why would anyone have a tattoo removed? What seemed like a good idea yesterday may not seem so good today. When is the right time for saving your skin? It's an NBC 33 special report, only on NBC 33 11 at 10 Monday. Where are the lowest gas prices? The Pump Patrol, NBC 33 News.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other dissemination or use of this telecast, or of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
So for the Dallas Mavericks here at Reunion in Dallas, it has come down to this. Trailing 3-0 in this best of 7. Down to San Antonio, 87-86. After leading by as many as 17. And Doug, if there's one player who provided the spark who stands out for the Spurs, Malik Rose, with tremendous energy in those final minutes.
Well, he's so much about the personality of this bench. Guys who come in and give that kind of energy and effort really sort of vitalize that front line. Avery Johnson misses the jumper, but Malik Rose is a special guy on this team.
Steve Nash is back. Dirk Nowitzki still sending it out. And the call away from the ball. Sean Elliott is pleading his case. That's 2 on Elliott.
You know, Marv, as we finish this last 11:35, the game is in the balance. You're Dallas, you're down 3-0. The game is going to probably be close. We're going to go to the wire. You have to really dig deep inside. How badly do I want to go back to San Antonio? Even down, it would be 3-1. How badly do we want to win this game? It might come down to that in the last couple minutes.
Juwan Howard. And if there is a Game 5, if the Mavericks are able to extend this series, it would take place Monday night at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Duncan with a beautiful spin on Bradley.
Well, Bradley has sort of pushed him to the baseline, and when he cuts him off, that beautiful footwork of Duncan, he just swings right in there with that little jump hook.
Nash. Dallas back within one. The San Antonio Spurs with a spectacular regular season. They finished strong. They ended up 58-24. They have home court advantage throughout the playoffs. They wound up the season winning 21 of their last 26 games. That'll be a jump ball. Then in the first round of the playoffs, the Spurs beat Minnesota 3-1. And they have ripped right through the Mavericks. 3 straight blowouts. Final the other night, this past Wednesday here in Dallas, 104-90, but it was much worse than that final score.
Well, the Mavericks had to outscore them by 10 in that fourth period to even make it respectable. They were down by 24 going into that period, so a lot of garbage time in that game.
Assistant coach Del Harris said we were cold and then we got colder. Bradley with a sweeping hook that fell short. Rose able to come up with it.
And the bodies are starting to fly.
Here's Ferry. Mavericks in possession, trailing by 1. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. Rose lunging and called for the reach-in. So that's 3 on Rose. These are actually, Doug, the first meaningful fourth quarter minutes in this series.
This is why, if you're Dallas, you want to play in these kind of games. Mark, you now have stepped up a class. You're in the elite. It's one thing to win the first round. Now you're in the top 4 of the West. Find out where you are and grow from this. Win a game, get back on the road.
Howard. Dallas takes a 1-point lead. Juwan Howard with 13.
Tim Duncan is resting. Let's see if the Spurs can hang in there, if the Mavericks can give themselves a little cushion.
Howard fronting on Robinson, allowing Elliott to take it to the rim. Finley pulls it up from way downtown.
Now, many teams should say, what a bad shot. For the Mavericks, that's when they're at their best. Just run and let it fly.
Dallas with a 93-89 lead in the midst of a 7-0 spurt. And the offensive foul called on David Robinson. He hooked the arm of Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, the poise and patience and experience of that man, Greg Popovich, and David Robinson and the rest of these Spurs will be sorely tested here today. Mark, make no bones about it. They want to finish this series today. They do not want it to be extended. Only bad things can happen for the Spurs the more games they play in this series.
Nowitzki went to the pull-up as Elliott gave the baseline. Battle between Howard and Robinson. Last touch by San Antonio. And a timeout is called. 8:39 remaining in the fourth. It's a 4-point Dallas lead. Michael Finley from beyond area code range. Finley now just 6 of 18, has 16 points. Mark Cuban liked it. We'll be right back.
Bucks, Hornets starts a playoff tripleheader Sunday noon Eastern on NBC.
This is the all-new Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. And the 2001 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
A lot of baseball players can hit 20 home runs in a season. But how many players can do that for 20 seasons in a row? Well, so far only one. Hank Aaron.
Hey, nothing beats an original. Original Coors, brewed with Rocky Mountain water.
Original Coors. Going, gone.
Caldo, calduccio, caldissimo.
Aspetta,
Wouldn't it be great if you could buy anything, anywhere, with your cell phone? Wireless e-business, coming from IBM.
Hey, good news! Now you don't have to go to the airport to rent from Hertz!
Because Hertz is opening hundreds of suburban locations across the country.
So the great rates and service you're used to getting from Hertz at the airport, you can get right
Next door. And at Hertz Local Edition, we'll even come and get you.
Has Hertz ever given you so much, both on and off the airport? Not
Exactly.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Original Coors. When you're an original, you do it your own way. Original Coors. By IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by Gatorade Energy Bar. What burns inside you? Well, in the last few weeks, the underdogs have been beating the odds in the NBA playoffs. It was the Hornets knocking off the Heat in 3 straight. Raptors beat the Knicks. And the Mavericks shocked the Jazz in that 5-game set. And, of course, in the Kentucky Derby, Doug, it was Monarchos and an upset win over the favorite point given. How's this for a smooth transition? Monarchos now moving on to the second leg of the Triple Crown, the Preakness Stakes, next week on NBC.
Marv, you did that flawlessly. Just great.
Juwan Howard with that jump shot looking flawless. He has 15 points, 95-89. Dallas with the lead. Coming up on 8 minutes remaining in the fourth. Here's Duncan. Nowitzki on the box out.
Now, the Mavericks don't want to get into the half court. They want to continue to attack, get dribble penetration, get to the basket.
Howard. 11 unanswered by the Mavs.
Well, they are answering the challenge. I guess they do want to go back to San Antonio. They now lead by 8.
They collapse on Duncan, and he's fouled.
Now, one of the reasons that Don Nelson got Juwan Howard is because he would be their best low-post player. And he has struggled in this series against the Twin Towers. Not today. The good footwork, and again, with a shot contested, you see that he's got much more arch on his shot. He has his trouble when he's wide open and he shoots that line drive. His footwork has been terrific today, and he has answered the challenge. See, 6 in the fourth period. He has 17 for the game, and his team now leads by 7 with Duncan trying to cut it to 6.
Well, Duncan now 7 of 12 at the line. It's 97-91 Dallas as we approach 7.5 remaining in the fourth. They clear it out for Howard. Wild shot by Juwan and nowhere to go. Played well by Duncan. Backdoor pass for Daniels. Johnson got the step. Oh, what a move by Avery Johnson, being challenged by Dirk Nowitzki.
And you can see Greg Popovich, the leader of his team, the little general, although his minutes have been cut, still a big part of this team. He's in here at crunch time.
Howard. Nice pass from Nash. Howard could not convert.
If the Spurs score here, I think you're going to see a timeout from the Mavericks.
And Duncan is fouled. Buckner and Nash converging. Tim Duncan is headed back to the line.
Well, Avery Johnson, you allow him to get to that left hand. He's been able to finish against bigger defenders now for a lot of years in this league. That big first step, loves to kiss that ball off the glass.
Foul called on Buckner. So Duncan now 7 for 13. Don Nelson likes to have Greg Buckner on the floor. He's a very good defensive player. Second-round pick last year out of Clemson.
You know, they were very deep in the backcourt as Duncan misses both, but with the trade to Washington, they lose both Courtney Alexander and Hubert Davis, so they are thin back there. Buckner gets hurt. That really has hurt their team.
Nowitzki.
Oh, yes. That's an old-time shot, Mark. Come off that screen, the one-footer from about 15 feet. What pressure.
Not to date myself, that was Carl Braun of the old New York Knicks of the 50s. I watched a lot of film.
Okay, I thought you broadcast that game.
6-point lead, and Duncan cuts into that lead. It counts, and the foul.
Now, Dirk Nowitzki, who's played a terrific game, got up to a great start. Look at this fading one-footer getting back to the foul line. What a tough shot. And then the big fundamental, Tim Duncan, you go inside, the big, strong finish, and very, very, very important here for Tim Duncan. It might not cost him in this series, but Marv, he's got to start getting a rhythm on these free throws. He's so hard on himself that when he misses it, I think he really takes it personally and puts a lot of pressure on himself. His stroke is way too good to shoot in the 50 percentile.
Duncan now 8 of 15 at the line with a three-point play. Brings the Spurs within 3 with 6 minutes to go on the 4. Nice fake by Finley. Well, he's relocated the stroke. Michael Finley has 18.
He's the one guy who's been here through all the bad times, who right now tastes this and feels this and wants to find a way to get a win.
Terry Porter back on the floor for San Antonio, being hounded by Steve Nash. Illegal defense called on the Mavericks. That's their second violation, so San Antonio will go to the foul line. They'll get a technical foul shot. But first, a timeout. Dallas up by 5.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Tahoe. Now offering a third row of seats that's light and easier to handle than anything else out there. It's nowhere near anything. The new Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
This season, the NBA and its players have taken the time to hit the books.
All right, today, class, the book is little too.
They want young people to understand that reading is an invitation to new and interesting worlds.
Clifford got the biggest medal of all.
So pick up a book and take a look. You might just like what you see.
His father, Big Two. Y'all know this better than I do.
Reading is fundamental.
Monarchos won the Kentucky Derby in the second fastest time in history. Now his quest for the first Triple Crown in 23 years shifts to the Preakness. On a track that favors the frontrunner, will the trademark late charge of Monarchos come through again? The Visa Triple Crown continues with the Preakness next Saturday at 5 Eastern on NBC.
Not in our house, say the fans here in Dallas, hoping that the Mavs are able to extend to a 5th game back in San Antonio on Monday night. Capacity crowd, better than 18,000 on hand here at Reunion Arena. It's been a basketball renaissance the last couple of years here in Dallas. Terry Porter will shoot the technical off that second call of the illegal defense. Terry Porter's had an outstanding game. 13 points. He's done it with a three-point shot. He was 3 for 3 from downtown. And the first half helped bring the Spurs back after they were trailing by as many as 17. It's now a 4-point Maverick lead with 5:42 to go in the fourth.
Spurs have excellent three-point shooting on the floor. If they go inside, outside, look for the three-point shooters out of the double teams.
Duncan over Bradley. And Bradley certainly altered that shot.
Sean Bradley's done a nice job, Marvin. Game 1, remember, he blocked a lot of shots early, so Duncan feels his presence.
They clear it out for Finley. Michael Finley, yes! He is now on fire.
Well, Steve Nash makes his team go, but that guy is their heart and soul. And with a game on the line, they're going to expect him to come through.
Finley's hit his last 3. Mavericks up by 6. Porter battling. And the officials checked with each other. The Mavericks felt that Porter lost it uncontested.
And Nowitzki got cracked in the mouth. He's running to the locker room right now. That will be a big loss if he's not able to come back. 4:52, so we'll have to send Lewis Johnson over to check on him.
Timeout has been called. I see Lewis is right on the trail. Dirk Nowitzki will be right back.
This is Janice. How can I help you, Mr. Walker?
Yes, hi. I was having a bad day today.
I've had enough!
I decided that I was going to get in my car and, take a drive. Anyway, I took a wrong turn.
Relax. We'll get you home.
Impala LS with 200 horsepower and, fortunately, OnStar. Chevy Impala. We'll be there.
Only one left. Who wants the last Frost Brew Coors Light?
Beerman.
Beerman.
Whoa. Close one. Close.
The beer man is going to have to consult the instant replay. Upon further review, the lady gets the Coors Light. The beer man's fair.
Look at her.
But he ain't stupid.
Look at me.
Here's a tip. American Express has this membership rewards program. Sign up and you get points when you pay with a small business card. You've got 100 points here, you've got, say, 300 points here. That'll be 4,000 points on this week's deliveries alone. You've got lots of ways to pay, but this card can take you to Hawaii, so why pay any other way?
Small business owners have earned billions of points to spend on travel, equipment, and more. To sign up for membership rewards, visit us at AmericanExpress.com.
When the question comes, and it will, have I got what it takes today? Answer with this. Gatorade Energy Bar. Carbs to build stores of energy. Energy to burn. What burns inside you?
Allen Iverson has been unstoppable. Vince Carter has been everywhere. This showdown of superstars has grabbed the national spotlight. What'll happen now when they lead their teams into battle in Game 4? Sixers, Raptors, part of a great NBA playoff tripleheader. Sunday, starting at noon Eastern.
We're going to show you here what's happened to Dirk Nowitzki. His quarter drive baseline, an inadvertent elbow gets up in the face of Dirk Nowitzki. We'll show you exactly what happened. He loses a tooth on this play. The elbow flies up, and you're going to see right there, there is his tooth. So he made a beeline to the locker room. A blow in the face again, an inadvertent shot as Porter was going for the ball out of bounds. We'll have to see whether or not he can come back. We'll check in with Lewis Johnson.
Dirk Nowitzki is back in the locker room now, and apparently when he was playing ball in Europe last summer, he had a tooth knocked out. So when he went to the dentist there and they gave him a replacement tooth, that is the tooth that he just lost in the game. The tooth was on the floor. They couldn't find it. They have found it back in the locker room now. They're trying to stop the bleeding, and as soon as they do that, they'll replace the tooth, and then Dirk will be back out on the floor.
All right, thank you, Lewis.
Here he comes right now, guys.
And Dirk hearing it from the crowd as he makes his way in the direction of the Dallas bench. The ball will go back to the Mavericks. Doug, I must say, you just took the telestrator to new heights. Heights that dental technicians around the country will applaud.
Hey, look, I have to do the Czar proud. You know that. I'm secondary when it comes to him.
No, not necessarily. Here's Nash. And I mean that with proper affection for the Czar. David Robinson is fouled by Sean Bradley.
Dirk Nowitzki coming right back into the game. I tell you, you cannot question this young guy's courage. He's got blood in his mouth. Remember, game 3 now. He suffered from food poisoning, was on IVs all day, played in the game. He is back. This is a real big thing for this young guy to come back and show his team they do not want to get swept today. It'd be easy for him to sit back in that locker room. That is not the case. He is wanting to win this game.
David Robinson, 8 of 8 at the line. Change on that last foul call. It's on Finley, not Bradley. Bradley and Nowitzki each with 4. Nowitzki with the rebound. The Mavericks 103. The Spurs 98. The Mavericks looking to play another day. And that would be Monday night at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio if they can pull this one out. Finley. Elliott on the rebound.
Okay, Mark, right now, if you're the Mavericks, you cannot allow Duncan or Robinson to lay the ball in the basket. You've got to take a foul and make these guys make free throws now.
Duncan squeezing his way through, and Nowitzki with another aggressive rebound. Nowitzki picked up on a switch by Daniels. Bradley, do not want to see the big guy handling the ball that frequently. Shot clock down to 7. Nash for 3. Rebounded by Duncan.
I've gone away from that dribble penetration, starting to launch quick shots. Remember Nelson at that time said he wants to continue to drive that ball to the basket.
Foul is called on Howard. That is his 4th. Mavericks are over the limit. Spurs with only 2 team fouls. So David Robinson back to the line. He's 8 of 9 at the line.
You get a chance here for David Robinson. 69% in the series. 8 for 9 today. Make that now 8 of 10. When you get in close ball games, free throw shooting becomes so vital, especially as much as the Spurs go inside to both of these big guys. Well, the difference in this game could be, can the Spurs step up and make free throws? Because you know the Mavericks are not going to let them lay the ball in the basket. Don Nelson's been a coach for 38 years. He's not going to let it start now. He's been in this league for 38 years, I should say.
And the Spurs have missed 11 from the line. The 26 of 37. Dallas has not been able to get to the line as frequently. They're perfect, though. 13 for 13. 4-point Dallas lead as we come up on 3 to play in the 4th. Finley. Well, Duncan wisely let that teeter on the rim. Danny Ferry back on the floor. Here's Tim Duncan, played by Dirk Nowitzki. Duncan going glass, too strong, and Howard with the rebound.
Looked like Nowitzki got a piece of that ball as he took it up. He got his hand in there on Duncan. I'm impressed with this Nowitzki, this young guy. He has got a lot of courage and poise.
And a lot of talent as he Nowitzki, 11 of 17, 28 points, comes right back onto the floor after losing a tooth.
The good defense, he reaches in, gets a little piece of the ball. So nice stop, and then he takes his time. He's got Barry. I tell you, he's lost a tooth, but he's still got a little bite left in his game here, Barb, as he puts his team up by 6.
Tomb Raider in theaters this summer. Wild Cherry Pepsi. More to go wild for.
Feeling a little nervous about getting on the bus?
Yeah, I don't want to go.
You have to go to school.
I don't know if I want to go, though.
That'll be fun.
I want to hang out with you.
Girls' first day. Be nice. First days are always a little scary.
I'm going to miss you.
It's gonna be a bride.
Chevy Malibu. It's dependable. Just like you. Chevy Malibu. We'll be there.
Are you ready to experience the ultimate internet? Introducing Net Zero Platinum. Now you can have unlimited internet access to anywhere on the web with no persistent banner ads, even faster page loads, 24-hour customer support, and it's only $9.95. And that's less than half the cost of AOL. So now what are you waiting for? Net Zero Platinum, the ultimate internet. Call 1-800-DEFENDER or visit netzero.net.
It takes a lot to keep our aircraft flying. Nearly 750,000 remarkable individuals. Our people are the fuel we run on. Join us. America's Air Force. No one comes close.
NBC Wednesday. The West Wing season finale.
Mr. President, it's time.
Can you tell us right now if you'll be seeking a second term?
Watch this. It's as good as television gets. The West Wing season finale. NBC Wednesday.
Back in Dallas, Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Lewis Johnson. A courageous performance by that man, Dirk Nowitzki. 28 points, 8 rebounds. Michael Finley has come on in this fourth quarter. 20 points, 10 assists for Finley. How about Steve Nash? 14 assists, and a foul is called. We're down to 2:10 remaining in the fourth. Bradley picks up number 5. The Mavericks with a 105-99 lead, and Duncan back to the line where he's hit only 8 of 15.
Well, good set play that time by Greg Popovich. You go to your star. Don't settle for a jump shot. You got to have the confidence now you can make these free throws.
Five-point differential. Dallas looking to extend its season to a 5th game in San Antonio on Monday. You know, the Spurs would love to wrap it. They'd have lots of time between this series and the Western Conference Finals.
Let's see if they go back through Finley. Once again, he has Antonio Daniels over here. He's their heart and soul. Or Nowitzki, who has made a lot of big hoops today.
Ferry going chest to chest on Nowitzki, who steps back. A minute and 45 remaining in the fourth. It's a 4-point game. Duncan gets inside and serves up a facial.
Guess where they're going to then finish this game? Tip, Duncan, 2 free throws to score. Back to 2. Big possession here from Dallas. Can they score against one of the best defenses in the NBA?
A minute and a half remaining. Finley, this time played well by Daniels. Nice pass. Howard now, the extra pass. And Bradley was fouled.
No, they called
the other way.
I think they called 3 seconds.
It is a 3-second call on Sean Bradley.
Oh, Don Nelson irate. Looked like Juwan Howard was going to take the shot in the last moment. Passed off to Sean Bradley. Here's Sean Bradley on the weak side. There's 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. He's in there, but boy, you very rarely see that at this stage of the game.
And Bradley thought it was going to be a shot, so he was vying for the rebound. Coming up on a minute remaining of the fourth. San Antonio with the ball down by 2. Here's Porter for the lead. That was a three-point attempt that went way off.
And not a good shot there. Duncan had things his way the last couple possessions. Porter looking for a knockout there to try to give his team the lead.
Down to 50 seconds in the fourth. Howard setting the pick. They double up on Finley. Juwan Howard. Bradley pops it back out, and they have the new 24.
Still got plenty of time for Dallas. You want to run this down. You use the clock, put yourself up 4. No hurry. Nowitzki being guarded by Porter. Finley going to go one-on-one from the top.
Finley. Yes. The Mavericks lead by 4. And the Spurs take a timeout with 20 and 5/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
Michael Finley loves the top of the floor. There's no help defensively. He is their guts, their heart and soul. The biggest shot for the Mavericks in this series. He nails it. They lead by 4.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. Better than he was before. Better, stronger, faster.
Introducing the all-new 270 horsepower Chevy Trailblazer, the most powerful mid-size sport utility in the world. It's one strong SUV. The new 2002 Chevy Trailblazer, like a rock.
The beauty, the world of Ralph Lauren. A new way to shop, just a click away. Polo.com.
When Hawaiian sumo legend Konishiki feels like your Asian cuisine, he goes to Indigo. For Italian, it's off to Antipastos, Makawao Steakhouse for steak, Cha-Cha-Cha Salseria for Mexican, Magoroya for great sushi, and who knows how many restaurants he'll eat at tomorrow night. But no matter where he eats, he'll be paying with his Visa card. Because like so many other great places in Hawaii, these restaurants don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Finley has come up big down the stretch. He now has 22. A number of huge buckets, including that just a moment ago.
Well, Antonio Daniels, great defense, better offense by Finley. Now, if you're the Spurs, you want to get something quickly going to the basket, maybe free a three-point shooter. If you're the Mavericks, Marv, stay at home on the three-point shooters. If they score 2, they're going to have to foul you, and now you go to the foul line. You don't want to give up the three-point shot here.
The clock was just readjusted when we went to the timeout. 20 and 5/10 seconds was showing. Suddenly it was 18.1 in mysterious fashion. Now that's been corrected. San Antonio with the ball. 20.5 to go in the fourth. Dallas up by 4. Ferry will throw in. No one defending on the ball. Terry Porter looking for the quick shot. He has it. It's a 2-point game.
That's too easy. Way too easy.
Now Buckner running the baseline inbound. Oh, just did get it in. There's the foul given as Nowitzki hits the floor. Fouled by Duncan. And for the Spurs, now that was the foul to give. Let's see. Or are they over the limit? No clear indication. Apparently that was the foul to give. Players were lined up expecting there would be free throws. Some confusion now over at the scorer's table, but by our account, we have that as the fourth team foul. The next will put them over the limit.
Now the Mavericks are a great free throw shooting team, 81%. So if you are right now at San Antonio, you've got to keep the ball out of the hands of Nash, Nowitzki, or Finley. Make one of the other guys come catch it and then take the foul.
And now Dallas takes a 20-second timeout.
If you manage it correctly, even the largest empire will adapt and continue to thrive. Our software has helped more companies evolve their infrastructure than anyone else on Earth. Hello, tomorrow. We are Computer Associates, the software that manages e-business.
Reminder, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, here on NBC. The NBA playoffs continue. Another triple header. First up, Jamal Mashburn of the Hornets taking on Ray Allen and the Bucks. Then Allen Iverson and Vince Carter resume their duel in the late game. Will be in Sacramento. Shaq and the Lakers. Chris Webber and the Kings. It'll be an NBA playoff tripleheader tomorrow starting at 12 noon right here on NBC.
Now, Mark, Greg Buckner throwing the ball in, being smothered by Duncan. He cannot run along the baseline, so he's got to try to find an open receiver. It's going to be very difficult for him to make this pass.
And the next foul by San Antonio will put them over the limit. Gets the pass inbounds. And the foul is given, so Michael Finley will shoot two. He's 2 for 2 in today's game, and Dallas 13 of 13 at the line. One of the better free throw shooting teams in the league, but they have not been going to the line.
Well, they depend so much on their perimeter shooting. They take threes, they take that middle range shot, so they don't get inside as often. But Michael Finley, you would expect him to step up and make these shots. He hit the huge jump shot to give him a 4-point lead.
Michael Finley with 10 of his 23 points in the fourth quarter. So Dallas now leads by 3. San Antonio does have a full timeout and a 20 remaining. We have 15 and 7/10 seconds to go in the fourth. First free throw miss by the Mavericks, and that a critical miss. Timeout taken by San Antonio with 14 and 2/10 seconds to go. Obviously, a lot of possibilities, including the fact they can tie it with a 3.
U.S. road maps, $11. Ballpark guide, $22. Opening day tickets, $18. One stadium down, 29 to go. Priceless.
So how far is Cleveland?
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, preferred card and devoted fan of Major League Baseball.
Our son was studying to be a rocket scientist, but now he has a position here in the stadium. Hey, Dad. Son, I'm so proud. How about serving me up one of those frost-brewed Coors Lights?
Sure, Dad, but first there's something I need from you.
I know, son. I know your mom told me. I have to show you more affection.
You actually need to show me your ID.
What?
21 means 21. No ID, no Coors Light.
But he's old enough to be your father.
Like I haven't heard that one before. It's like the tooth fairy thing all over again.
3-point lead for the Dallas Mavericks. And if San Antonio does look for the 3, keep in mind they are the best shooting 3-point team in the NBA.
Well, this is coming into today, what these guys have done, so plenty of weapons for them. The big question is going to be, will Dallas take a foul and maybe not let them get a 3 off? But they have a lot of different options. Number 1 in the league at 41% on the regular season, shooting 44% in this series.
San Antonio has one timeout left. They have a 20-second timeout remaining. Dallas has a full timeout left. Sean Elliott back on the floor.
Now remember, Marv, they can throw into the backcourt this year. Before you'd have to throw front court. You go all the way to the backcourt and get it.
Antonio Daniels, he hit a three earlier. Down to 10 seconds. Here's Daniels going for the two. So it's a one-point game, 6 7/10 seconds remaining, and the foul is given. That will send Nowitzki to the line. A variety of ways you could play this. They didn't see the three. They go for the two, then the quick foul.
But see, I like that because if you're San Antonio and you launch an ill-advised three, basically the game is over. You score a two, now you put the pressure on Nowitzki to make them both, even though he's a terrific foul shooter. You have a 20-second timeout left. You can still move the ball, and with 6 seconds to go, there's still plenty of time to shoot a three. I like that. Rather than shoot a tough shot, get the two.
Nowitzki, 84% at the line. During the season, he now has 29 points. So it's a 2-point lead for the Mavs. 6 1/10 seconds remaining. And it's back to 3. And Greg Popovich will use his final timeout. This is a 20-second timeout taken by San Antonio.
See, with the rule change this year, you can move the ball on a 20-second timeout. Last year, you could not do that. So those 20s become vital at the end of a game. You can move the ball to half court, 6 seconds to go. On the throw-in, will Don Nelson take the quick foul and not let him shoot the three to tie?
And there's no question as to what Popovich is plotting out. They must go for a three. Would you take the quick foul?
You know what? I probably would. Now, we talked about this last week, and you said, well, what happens if you make the first one, you get the rebound, you get it, but that's 4 things that has to happen for you, So, I mean, you have to play it perfectly. A three ties it. That's only one thing that has to happen for you. All you have to do is make one shot.
Danny Ferry back on the floor. He shot 45% from downtown during the regular season among the leaders.
Well, be aware of him stepping in bounds. Buckner has his back turned to him, so be aware of Ferry stepping right back in.
Well, they took the foul, all right, out of the Coach Collins book of strategy.
Well, it's Duncan. He's shooting 50-something%. Even if he makes them both, San Antonio's out of timeouts. You throw the ball in, you get fouled. Now they got to go length of the floor in 5 seconds. I think that's excellent.
10 of 17, the numbers for Duncan. 5 1/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter.
Now, the one thing you know is Tim Duncan is not a great free throw shooter. So you better talk to all 5 of your guys now. You better block out. And who is Popovich coming in with? One of his energy guys, Malik Rose, who already has 2 offensive rebounds off free throws. So somebody better get a body on him.
Now, do you miss on purpose?
Well, you're out of timeout. So if you're not, you're going to have to foul immediately to give yourself time to go inline to inline.
Kind of poor foul shooter miss on purpose. All right, here's Duncan. He was looking to hit that shot. The hustle by Elliott and knocked out of his hands. And this one is all over. 1 7/10 seconds to go. In the fourth quarter, foul is called on the Spurs. Foul on Duncan. And the Mavericks headed to the line.
Now watch Malik Rose here. He's going to go across the lane. Boy, Juwan Howard does not block him out. They get a fortunate bounce there. Sean Elliott picks it up, and then Greg Buckner with the great hands to knock that ball loose, or the Spurs could have had a chance to shoot a three and win it, or two would have tied it and sent it into OT.
Michael Finley, a 78% free throw shooter with his 24th point. He's 4 or 5 at the line. It's a 3-point lead for Dallas with 1 7/10 seconds remaining on the fourth.
Now, how apropos would it be? Michael Finley, who's seen it all, makes the 2 free throws that possibly closes this building down if they don't get it to a game 6. The first game here ever was against the Spurs, and they won. Maybe the last game they'll close it down by beating the Spurs.
The Dallas Mavericks extend to a 5th game. They're headed back to the River City on Monday night. They avoid the sweep as they beat the Spurs 112 to 108, led by Dirk Nowitzki. 30 points for Nowitzki, 25 for Finley. Duncan with 29, Robinson with 25. Coming up tonight on NBC at 8 o'clock, Michael Crichton, suspense thriller starring Dustin Hoffman and Samuel L. Jackson, Sphere. So for Doug Collins, Lewis Johnson, I'm Marv Albert. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. You've been watching the NBA playoffs on NBC.
Can Andre Agassi recapture his red clay magic of 2 years ago? Will the Williams sisters be the toast of Paris? The French Open. Coverage begins June 2nd on NBC.
Tiger Woods, coming off victories in 4 straight majors. Will the greatest streak in professional golf continue? The U.S. Open, beginning June 14th on NBC.
And now something every mother wants to hear.
I was just getting acupuncture on my hoo-ha.
It's the new Saturday Night Live primetime special. The SNL stars and their moms. Because only one word can sum up Mother's Day.
Compassionativity.
It's the new Saturday Night Live Mother's Day special. Primetime Sunday on NBC.
We really like this WinStar, but does it have any get up and go?
Well, let's go see.
Okay.